What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. Shout out to those Boston Celtics, whoever's a Boston Celtics fan that may be watching this, for winning the NBA championship. Obviously, I'm a Lakers fan, so it does hurt a little bit, but that's okay. Boston ended up winning, beating Dallas last night in 5 games. But I digress. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter, also a casino host, and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Hard, where we bring individuals on to talk about their why into their profession and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's coming on with me today. I've known her for quite some time. She is a technical director and a multimedia journalist for Univision Communications. She's been that with Univision Communications for the past 8 years. She is a UGA graduate as well. Without any further ado, I introduce you the talented, the beautiful Valerie Burgos. Good morning, dear. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for hopping on my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I must say you look absolutely lovely this morning.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. How's your week going so far? The start of it.
I had a crazy weekend, so my week is basically just dragging until I can just sleep and recover.
I know that's right. Absolutely. No doubt. No doubt. I want to reiterate to you why I wanted to bring you on here before I start peppering you with all these questions. Okay. So I know you're a technical director and a multimedia journalist for Univision Communications. And I'm a sports reporter out here now in Minnesota, but I first started there in Atlanta because obviously, I graduated from Kennesaw State University. And I love talking to people who are in my profession, in my field, and getting to know their stories of why they do journalism and do stories and their why. I thought it was a no-brainer because obviously we've known of each other for quite some time. No question. So I would love to, like I said, get to know your journey, get to know you a little bit, and connect with you on here. So that's why I wanted to have you on.
Okay. One thing though, I can't talk much about my job. Like I can't give out names and be very specific just in case.
No, you good. You good. No. This is about you. This is about you, your journey. I got some icebreaker questions as well. So we're gonna have a good time. So first question that I always have is, what is your why? Right? I ask everybody. That's the first question. What is your why into journalism? Did you have any role models growing up? Did you have any inspiration things? Like, what is your story about coming into journalism?
Well, actually, I never intended to go into journalism. My passion has always been acting. And since I was a very little girl, I started imitating some of the people that I was seeing on TV. And one of them was a journalist. And so my mom figured, if you can't get into acting very easily, let's look at a plan B that can give you a stable career while you pursue acting.
Sure.
And that's when she told me, why don't you go to the University of Georgia? It has the #2 best program in journalism, and go Dogs.
Right.
And
right.
They had a very rigorous program that actually made me want to say, I don't ever want to be on TV. I just want to work behind the scenes. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I saw the difference between just wanting to work for journalism and having a true passion in journalism.
Yeah.
The only difference was the way that they were teaching journalism there was very traditional, trying to incorporate new things, but they never introduced me to the Hispanic side of it. So all my life I've been watching the Spanish TV channels, and that's all I knew. And I knew I eventually wanted to work for them, but I didn't know how. And so when I got the opportunity to work for this company, it was a dream come true that I didn't even know I had. And through their passion, through learning little by little how these reporters will go into the street and make a big difference in the community, that's where I started developing a whole new respect, a whole new love for journalism that I didn't even know I had.
I love that. I do. Now, you said you grew up wanting to be an actress. What were some actresses that you kind of looked up to, that you wanted to kind of model your acting career from?
Well, I started out with Will Smith, obviously, Jennifer Lawrence. I am a big comedy person, so the moment I saw The Rock and Kevin Hart, I was like, I need to work with them.
Okay.
Then I actually got the inspiration through Liza Koshy, a YouTuber that I was watching, that she was super goofy and everyone would love her personality. And I had that same personality. And I was like, wait, people actually don't think I'm weird. So
no, not at all.
So when I started seeing her on YouTube and becoming the actress that now she is, I was like, wait, I could maybe do the same. And then I saw Zendaya, which is a huge inspiration for me. And that's where I've been now. Zendaya is like my new role model that I don't want to imitate, but I definitely admire all of the talents and all of the dedication she's done to prepare for what she has now.
Absolutely, no doubt. Definitely talented, no question about that. University of Georgia, you said that you went to, so yep, go Dogs. Once again, I'm a huge Bulldog football fan, no question about that. Were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to University of Georgia?
I wanted Kennesaw State, but it wasn't because of my career. It was because I was scared of leaving home, so I wanted something close.
Right.
But I'm glad that my parents pushed me to go far.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's about an hour away, or maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe about an hour and a half away from Kennesaw, for sure. Did you ever think about going out of state?
No, I was terrified of college. I was terrified. When I say terrified, I had homesickness for the first 3 months that I was there.
Wow. Okay.
I did not visualize myself living the dream of being in college. No, I wanted to stay a little girl. I wanted to stay close to home because to all of this, we immigrated from Puerto Rico when I was little.
Okay.
And I lived all of the poverty, all of the like the fear of not knowing English in this country. I lived it with my parents. So we really grew up very close together.
Absolutely. On here with Valerie Burgos, technical director, multimedia journalist at Univision Communications on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Valerie, we came to the question now of doing some favorite things. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some of these favorite questions. You just let me know off the rip what some of those favorite things of yours are. Are you with me?
Okay.
Okay, let's rock. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh, that I like to cook. Dang it. I guess chicken Alfredo.
Oh, okay. Now you know when I come back down.
I'm not a beast at it. Let's just point that out. I'm not a beast at it.
Hey, now I'm just saying that's some good stuff right there, chicken Alfredo. So that's pretty good. Okay, here we go. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Nicky Jam.
Okay, Nicky Jam. All right. What's your favorite song of his?
Rap. Why do you do this to me? I have a really bad memory. No, like I know music. I don't ever know the names.
No, I feel it. You know, listen, sometimes we got to ask on the spot questions. Sometimes, you know what I mean? But I like Nicky Jam. I just don't know like a song of his like you.
I should point out the reason why I love Nicky Jam is because that was the first concert I've ever gone to ever. Okay. And it was free through my job. And it was the first concert where I went with my then boyfriend, now husband. So that's why Nicky Jam's concert stands out, not because of his music, because I'm a huge fan of his music, but I would not know him off the top of my head right now.
Okay, I feel that. Okay. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Would it be cheating if I say my own country? Because I love Puerto Rico really.
No, not at all. That's your favorite place.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rico.
I've never been to Puerto Rico. It's on the bucket list. Don't get me wrong, but I've never been there. What do you love most about it?
Every time I go, it feels like home. I mean, I used to live there, granted, so of course it's gonna feel like home. But being in the States for so long, you start missing the island so much that every time you go, you're like, oh, thank God.
Mm,
So it's a
okay.
whole different feeling.
Okay, I like that. Puerto Rico. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Now, I am a sports reporter, so I'm gonna ask you a sports question. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be both. Could both be the same.
Um, Favorite sport to watch on TV, NFL, football. Favorite sport to go in person, college football, UGA.
Okay, I'm with that. I like that. Favorite restaurant? Now, you know I've stayed there in Atlanta for quite some years now. So, favorite restaurant you like to eat at?
I like Mexican food. And we
Yeah.
go to a lot of different Mexican restaurants, but I don't like going to the same place every time. So I don't have a favorite. I always like trying something new.
Okay. Okay. What was the last Mexican food restaurant you went to?
I think it was called, um, I know it was not La Fiesta. It was not La Fiesta. It was a mom and pop shop here in Union City. So I'll look up the
Oh,
name later and send it to
okay.
you.
Okay. Okay. I got you. That's cool. Can you talk to me about your day to day? How do you get ready for what you do at work? Different people have different processes as journalists. Obviously, I work 4 10-hour days as a journalist, but I'm sports, so I'm nights and weekends, and I'm afternoons to late night. So I don't get off till midnight, late at night doing sports. Talk to me about your day to day, your job, your process.
Well, right now I go in at 3 p.m.
Okay.
But I leave the house around noon, 1 p.m. because I go to the gym. I make sure to get that out of the way. And then we go into work. We have 3 shows almost back to back. And I'm collaborating with 3 other journalists. So we prepare all of the graphics, all of the videos, everything that's going to go in the newscast right before the show. And
Mhm.
then at a certain time, we have to go to our control room, do the show, then we go and edit for 30 more minutes, then go back into the control room, do another show,
Wow.
then prepare for the next show. We have a little bit more time between that, and that's when we get to take a break, per se.
Hmm.
But then we have the show at 11, and we don't get off until 11:35 when the show ends.
Now, have you always had that type of shift where it's 3 to 12, or have you worked different shifts? Because you've been here for about 8 years, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, a combination of that. Have you?
Yeah.
Well, talk about the
The
different
old
shifts that
shift
you've
I
done.
had. Oh, sorry. What?
No, you're good. Talk about the different shifts that you have done to incorporate into journalism.
I think before I had 12 to 5, then I had 1 to 9 or 10.
Okay.
And then it's been shifting while we incorporate the new thing. So we incorporated 11 p.m. live. Then we incorporated a whole new newscast in between the 2 shows.
Hmm.
So it's been a never-ending shift. Also,
Yeah,
it's changed whenever we get new employees because we have to train them and put them up to date first.
absolutely. I can imagine that. If somebody were to walk up to you, Valerie, and say, "You know what? I want to do what you do." What kind of advice would you give either someone, a young lady, or a young male, or a college graduate, or somebody that's just trying to break into the business? What kind of advice would you give them about entering this journalism field?
Do it because you like it, not because of the fame and the perks, because that's actually one of the things that is slowly fading away from journalism. TV right now is fighting real hard with digital. So all of the fame and all the beauty of it is not what you see on TV. It's
Right.
more behind the scenes, more nitty gritty, investigative, running back and forth that people don't see on TV. And that's 90% of your day.
It truly is.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely say connect with somebody in the business, try to shadow at a station, learn
Mhm.
as much as you can while you're there, ask questions, be curious, because that's the best way to learn a new skill. And whatever you learn, you can take with you, whether you get a job there or elsewhere.
Right. Okay. I like that. Now, great segue, right? Because the next question is about mental health and work-life balance. You talked about it. You said you are married, but also you work 9 hours a day, right? So 3 to 12, probably with a lunch break in there. Those are not business hours. Business hours are 8 to 4, 9 to 5. Typical business 40-hour week work weeks. But journalists, we don't work conventional hours. So talk to me about how do you keep your work-life balance, or if you keep it at all. It's a struggle for me still, but how do you keep your work-life balance in check, but also your mental health? So that way you don't experience burnout like maybe some of our colleagues have experienced in their journalism field.
Well, I've already had burnouts multiple times. Um, yeah, funny enough, my husband and I work opposite shifts. So he actually works mornings and gets home at the time that I'm leaving the house to go to my shift. So we
Okay.
only get to see each other when I get home for about an hour because he has to
Wow.
wake up mad early, and then on weekends. So right now it's helped us a little bit because he does music. So whenever I'm not home, he gets to be as wild as he wants to be.
Hmm.
And I use my mornings to do my stuff, my acting, my preparations, anything. But usually whenever I get home, I try not to have my work phone on me. If I get any messages, I will make sure to look at them when he's not around. Not because he is over there like stalking me or looking, but because we don't have much time together right now. So that's why sometimes I will get messages on Instagram and Snapchat, and people will be like, I messaged you a week ago, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's because I disconnect from the moment I get home. And while I'm at work, when I can't get connected, I'm running back and forth. So right now my social life is a little complicated.
Sure. Sure. Which talk to me about, because you mentioned it a little bit before. Talk to me about that burnout. It's good to ask this question because people need to know that this is a beautiful industry, but they also need to know that B side, right? They need to know about what happens when you do feel burnout, or what is the typical signs of a burnout that you feel like that's coming about, right? Because it's constructed from maybe being overworked and underpaid a lot of the time. So talk to me about that feeling of when you did feel burnout and how did you overcome that?
Perfect example, during the pandemic, we were so understaffed, or not understaffed, but we couldn't allow a lot of people in the station. So during that time, it was maybe me, the technical director, and the audio guy. And I know that was not proper English. I'm so sorry. But it was only about three of us. And the audio guy during the day, he would have to go into the protest because around that time, it was also the BLM protests.
Sure. Yeah.
That time also, we had we actually had an incident where one of our workers, one of our only workers, did come out positive to COVID. So, and she's fine. But when that happened, it was literally almost nobody in the station. Nobody. Everybody worked from home, and that was great. But it was me directing a show, me doing the videos and the graphics for the show, me having to break programming when we had the breaking news multiple times throughout the day. It was so much on my plate that when they were finally resetting and bringing people in,
Hmm.
we had to hire new people. I also had to train people during the same hours that I was doing the
Your
shows, that I
job.
was
Yeah.
preparing for the shows.
Hmm.
It got to the point where I had to talk to my bosses and be like, listen, I love my job. I love you guys, but this is a lot. This is actually a lot. What are we doing? And they told me, okay, well, let's put on hold this. Let's not work on this project. Let's just focus on this. And they worked with me. They were so patient with me, which helped a lot. But it wasn't until maybe a year later that finally everybody was up to date. We were able to bring everybody in, that I felt like I could actually breathe.
No, I appreciate the transparency on that. I appreciate your openness on that. Again, it's a question worth asking. I love the fact that you gave that answer, because people need to know that it's just not about people going on TV being glamorous and sharing the news. Like, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't know about. That people, it takes a village to really run a great segment, package, story, just program, period, right? It takes a lot of people involved for it to work. And then when one of the chinks in the armor goes down, like the person that got COVID with you, it puts a lot of pressure on the next individual. And the reason why I had you kind of explain that is because you got to have thick skin in this industry as well. It's a beautiful industry where you storytell. If you're a storyteller, this is the industry for you. But you got to have a lot of thick skin as well, and to be able to deal with a lot of stuff. I know for me personally, Valerie, when I came up here, it's 11,000 people in here. Now, you know how Atlanta, Georgia is. Atlanta, Georgia is popping. Okay, a lot of people there, no question about it. I'm a city kid. This is rural country here for me. And when I went to my first basketball game to cover it, I was in heaven. I had my camera, my credential, my everything. I just loved it. And it was high school. But I remember playing high school basketball. So I remember doing what these kids were doing. But I had somebody walk up to me and say, "Are you the new reporter in town?" I said, "Yes, sir, I am. My name is Christopher Drummond. It's a pleasure to meet you." He said, "I didn't know the new reporter was black." And I was like, ooh, inside, that's what I was like. But I immediately responded by saying, "Well, sir, yes, I am. And I'm going to continue to write articles and support the community. And I hope you read them. You have a nice night." Now, that's how I responded. However, my mindset was, I got to change these people's mindset and stop looking at me like I'm a black reporter and look at me just as a sports reporter. And it's tough to do that sometimes. It's a different situation from that burnout, but still, I was alone. And that's where my mental health started to get a little affected, because I have no family out here. So I totally understand what you were talking about as far as that burnout, as far as having too much to do on your plate. And you got to set boundaries. And you set a boundary by going to your boss and talking to him or her, and they were able to help you out. And now look at you, thriving still at Univision, doing your thing, which this is a great segment, because now I want to do this or that. And this or that is something of an icebreaker game. So I throw two things out at you and you get to answer one or the other. Okay, this or that. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, here we go. First one is important, Valerie. Popeyes to KFC.
Popeyes.
Okay, now I know we could be friends, girl. We good now. Okay, we solid. We solid now. Okay, off to a good start. Do you eat chicken wings?
Yes.
Okay. Chicken wing flavor, barbecue or lemon pepper?
Hot lemon pepper.
Okay. Okay. You like the spice with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got. Okay. Tell me, do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet.
Okay. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Both.
Okay. Okay.
Both.
Okay. Which one is 51%? Which one is 49%?
Better for dipping bone in.
Ooh, okay. So you like to get a little messy, is what you're saying,
Yeah.
when it comes to the wings. I ain't mad at you. I'm with you on that one, girl. I ain't mad. Okay, here we go. These next four have to do with questions of which concert would you go to? Okay. So
okay.
Let's choose this. Which concert would you go to? Would you rather go to Romeo Santos or Ozuna?
Ozuna.
Okay, here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? Bad Bunny or Nicki Jam?
Depends, Bad Bunny. Depends.
Okay. That was a tough one for you. Okay,
It
here we go.
was.
I feel it. Which concert would you rather go to? Brandy or Monica?
Branding.
Oh my. Oh, wow. That was a
Branding.
tough one for you too, huh?
It
Okay.
was.
Okay. I got you. Monica's from the A, so I get it. I totally understand that. I love both of them. Let's preface that. You love both of them, but you said
Yes.
Brandy. I get you.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Last one on the music. Which concert would you rather go to? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
I knew you was gonna. Why do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna lie. Kendrick is a lyrical genius right now. I have mad respect for Kendrick.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, Drake is great again, but Kendrick
He's a
Lamar
great
is
entertainer, but Kendrick's lyrics are top. Not the top
absolutely.
because I also have a lot of admiration for Eminem and
Yep.
some of the oldies, but Kendrick is. mm,
Yeah, he right there. He right there. I like that. Okay, that was tough. Those were tough questions, regardless. Here we go. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or baseball?
Basketball.
Okay. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
I've never played Batman.
What?
I've never played Batman. I feel like I would probably like that a little bit.
Yeah, I think you would. I mean, it's just tennis, but it's with a birdie instead of a
Yeah,
ball.
I've never played it. I've tried to play tennis, but not Batman. So I feel like
Okay.
because I play tennis, I would choose Batman.
I feel that. I feel that. Okay. Do you like desserts?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna throw 4 desserts at you. You got to choose one to eliminate that you'll never eat again. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
First one is candy, so that's any type of candy. Okay. Second one is ice cream. The third one is cookies. That's any type of cookie. The last one is cakes, any type of cake. Which one are you eliminating that you'll never eat again?
Cake.
Wow. Okay. All right, Valerie. I would have chose candy, but I get it. I get it. I feel it. That red velvet cake, I don't know how you can get rid of that. Red velvet's so good.
Any bread, I like the real bread from Puerto Rico,
Okay.
but I am definitely more of a ice cream, cookies kind of person.
I
And
feel it.
candy, I mean, every so often I get that craving for some Sour Patch Kids or some sour
Sure.
worms.
Sure. It's a tough choice. I get that. Do you like potato chips?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the same format. I'm going to throw out 4 brands. You got to get rid of one of them. You'll never eat again. So here we go. First one is hot Cheetos. The next one is Doritos. The next one is Ruffles. The last one is Lay's. Which one are you getting rid of?
Oh goodness.
Mm. Mm. This is a good
Lays?
question because it got you thinking. It got you thinking.
Lays, I think.
You sure?
I think so.
Okay, I think you made the right decision. That's what I think. No question. You
I
can't
can't
get
get
rid of
rid of
hot.
the cheesy ones. I can't. Ruffles, Doritos, you can't get rid of them. Hot Cheetos. I love Cheetos. So
Right, and we already established you like a little spice with your food, so I knew you ain't
yeah.
gonna get rid of them hot Cheetos. So and you can't because those are bombs. But the greatest chip ever made was sour cream and cheddar Ruffles. That's the greatest chip ever made. So
Cheddar.
you
Cheddar.
said cheddar?
Cheddar.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
those too, but cheddar.
Okay. All right. I feel you on that. Well, at least you got cheddar involved in it. That's all that matters for
Yeah.
me. Now, if Valerie wasn't involved in either acting or journalism, what career would she have chosen and why?
Accountant. Or
Wow.
pharmacist.
Really? Now, why would you have chosen those two?
Accountant, I love, love, love numbers. I love math. Always been good at math. And pharmacist, I just found it interesting. My brother's a pharmacist tech. So I just have a little curiosity towards that side.
Okay. I like that. What are some of your favorite stories that you have worked on in the industry? Like, give me a top 3 favorite stories that you've worked
That
on.
I've worked on or that I've witnessed?
witnessed, worked on, either one?
Oh, we work on so many, and there are so many stories where we would cover it at the very beginning, and then we would see like a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know. I think now my favorite, not that it was my favorite whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
but one that really stands out that I was like, wow, from beginning to end was Rosana Delgado, because I witnessed my coworker do the investigation, go above and beyond to really cover that story and give that family the justice that they deserved.
Wow.
And it's because of that that I really admire that work and admire his passion for journalism. Not that it was the greatest story I've heard at all. It was definitely sad.
Right.
But it's one of those that sticks with you for the long haul.
I love asking journalists this, especially journalists who kind of work in news. How hard is it to separate yourself from hard news stories? Now, maybe it might be a little different now for you because you've been in it for a while. But when you first got into it, how hard was it for you to separate yourself?
I try not to take it home because I always knew the news is going to be hard if you're hearing it every single day, every single day. I don't know. There are some stories that really stick with you and you go home and you gotta, I'm a Christian, so I just pray over anyone that I see on the news that I'm like, oh, this one hurt. This one really hurt. God, please help them.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to crimes here and there, I know where not to go. I definitely take those into consideration,
Sure.
but I don't ever take stuff with me to where it hurts me too much, because that could jeopardize my own mental health. And I know that I can do so much more if I internalize it and compartmentalize it
Mm-hmm.
to what it is. It's our duty, it's our job, we're making a difference, these stories need to be told, versus if I just feel every single story, then my mental health is going to decline and I'm not going to be able to do my job.
I totally understand that. Again, on here with Valerie Burgos, technical director and multimedia journalist of University on Communications here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I want to ask you about advice. Now, I asked you earlier, what advice would you give? This time, I'm going to ask you, what advice has someone gave you that you hold on dearly to?
They want you to fail, so prove them wrong.
Ooh, okay.
And which actually ties on to what you were saying about the story when so-and-so came up to you and said, oh, you're the new reporter. And
Right.
they were like, oh, I didn't know that you were Black. Not the same story, but I was the only Hispanic, or one of the only Hispanics in my whole journalism program at UGA. And there was one day that I did not have anything. I came back empty-handed. The people didn't talk to me. I didn't have any kind of contact. It was almost like no man's land, and the show was about to start.
Right.
And when I come in, that's the day that a reporter from this company was shadowing, because he had graduated previously from UGA as well. And so he was just shadowing. And I went up to my teacher and I was just like, hey, I don't have anything. I don't know what to do. And she goes really loud, what, you just can't have nothing, right? That she would never have a job in the media if she doesn't have her material. Like, how can she even say that she's a journalist, et cetera, et cetera? Again, somebody from the company that I wanted to work for was present, and she was pointing them out and saying, right, that she will never get a job in media. So of course I was devastated, but a friend of mine who is also a sports journalist, he came up to me and he was like, why are you sad? And I explained, and he said, they want you to fail. It's your job to prove them wrong. Don't let them get away with this.
Sure.
So I came back, I talked to that reporter, we collaborated, we got something on air, but it was through that contact that I got the job that I have. If I would have let that tear me down, I would not have even talked to him because I felt like I didn't belong there. I didn't deserve the opportunity. But I was like, no, if God got me this far and God got this reporter here, let me at least talk to him and see what happens. And 8 years later, I'm at this job.
I love it. I love it. That shout out to that sports journalist that, you're connected with, because he was absolutely right. There's always going to be some people that say the opposite of good things, right? I love the fact that you had the resiliency enough to keep going, regardless of, what that person said. This is a bonus question. And I want to ask this because we're both minority reporters, and not just minority, but we're in the minority in journalism. Like, there's not a whole lot of African-American males that's out here doing it in sports reporting, but there's also not a lot of Hispanic women out here doing it either. And you doing your thing. How much pride do you take that being a bilingual, journalist? Because it must feel pretty good to represent Puerto Rico and do your thing and be out there as one of the pillars in your community in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, aside from the pride that I feel with my family, because of course they see me and they're like, oh my gosh, the TV star. Mm-hmm. I take a lot of pride in that. I was the second or third, one of the very few female technical directors for the whole station nationwide. That job was reserved mainly for men because it's such a hard, tedious job. You are directing, you are commanding, you have to fix things when things break. I had to learn a little bit of engineering in the way. So I remember there was a little bit of doubt when I first started, but little by little, I proved myself. And now everyone in the company is like, oh yeah, her. Yeah, she's really, really good. And a boss from New York told me that people up there are talking about me. So I take that very to heart, because nowhere in my mind did I ever imagine or do this with the thought of I'm going to be the best. I just wanted to do a good job.
So. And that you are certainly doing. You're certainly doing that. There's no question about that. This is next question is rapid fire. So basically, these are some rapid fire questions. The first thing that comes to your mind, you just go off and say it, okay?
Okay.
So here we go. Favorite color?
White.
Favorite TV show?
Powerpuff Girls.
Did you say Powerpuff Girls?
I was thinking Impossible Proud Family and Powerpuff Girls. I love them all. You gave me a tough one.
That's damn sure a first here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I don't think anybody's ever said that TV show. But that's cool. That's cool. Listen, no judgment here. We love it all. Next question. Favorite board game?
Sorry.
Okay. Favorite card game?
Solitaire.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like that. Solitaire. Here we go. Favorite 3 albums that you would play with no skips? Gotta pick 3 albums with no skips. What albums would they be?
Un Verano Sin Ti, Música Buena para Días Malos, and I think ATT Young Miko right now.
Okay. If you had a choice to pick your favorite role to play, like to play in a movie, like that's already been out there, like a movie that's already been, done, what role would you choose to play? Like for me, it would probably be Denzel and John Q. I would love to play the dad in that.
I would love playing Will Smith in Bad Boys. I don't know why. I just watched Bad Boys. That's the first one in my head right now.
Okay, I feel that. I'm actually going to watch that tonight. So that should be pretty cool. I like that. All right, don't tell me about it. Well, tell me, is it good? Is it worth watching?
It was better than I expected.
Okay, enough said. I'm excited, no doubt. Okay, 3 more of the rapid fire, okay? Musicals, or would you act in a love story?
Musicals.
Top 3 musicals.
High School Musical. High
Okay.
School Musical 2. High School Musical 3.
Is that the only one you got? How you gonna do that to me now? How you gonna do that to me?
They were the ones who. It was through those movies that I got a whole new respect and love for musical movies.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
because I like the TV musicals, not theater musicals.
I feel it. I feel it. Okay. All right. Last of the rapid fire. Would you rather be a technical director or a multimedia journalist in the field?
Technical director.
I love it. Okay. I'm gonna get you out of here on this question here. And this question is, what is something that you want to talk about that we haven't discussed yet here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast about yourself?
Oof. Oof. I really don't think I have anything. I think I told you a lot about my job. Of course, acting is very much important to me, and I'm still training. I'm still auditioning when I get auditions. I don't know. I think we covered it all on that
I
side.
like that. I like that. Now, when I touch down in Atlanta, girl, we're going to have to hang out. I know you're busy, but we're going to have to do something. I still got family back there. That's for sure. So I definitely come back at least 2-3 times for sure. Plus, you're going to have to let me know when you are in a role, whether it's an extra, acting, or whatever kind of role it is. I would definitely pay attention. That's for sure. So you let me know of that.
Okay.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and you keep doing what you do with a smile, love, and passion like you've been doing it. So thank you very much for hopping on with me this morning on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast.
No, thank you.
No question. You take care and enjoy your day.
Okay. You too.